Welcome to the Cha Junior Ryuki channel, where gaming and nachos are law. So sit back, relax, and let's dip in.
Hello everyone and welcome to Sound of Drop, Fall into Poison. It's a visual novel. If you don't know me at all, I used to do visual novels, quite a few of them basically, back in the day, so I thought why not do one more, and have one be a little bit more serious. This time, we're going to continue on with the fact that I will not be present, which means you won't see my camera, which means I'll be here, but then I'm not. You see what I mean? So you don't see this ugly mug while you're watching this, okay? That is why. So that's what we're going to do differently. So without further ado, let's go. Before she realized it, the girl was standing before an imposing door. The girl occasionally came to Manhattan Aquarium alone. She watched the manta rays. She watched the jellyfish. Finally, she decided it was time to go home. Where is this? She had her doubts, but there should be nothing else there except for the aquarium. She assured herself that she had probably wandered off onto a side path. The door before her had a large padlock hanging from it. Just as she had heard, it was unlocked and merely dangling there. The girl drew in breath. Being locked would usually mean that it was a place she shouldn't enter. Being open just meant that a staff member had forgotten to lock it, so going in was out of the question. Her curiosity piqued. She was past the point of persuasion. Her imagination ran wild, and her mind raced at the prospect of what might lie behind the door. Just for a little bit. She opened the door and saw lots of glass tanks. Several types of fish hailing from the deep seas, from football fish or oarfish to pelican eels and barrel eyes were swimming about. Why isn't this an exhibit? She thought it over and wondering why this would be in a closed-off area. Behind her, the door shut on its own. The girl spaced out, staring at the deep fish swimming about. They would leap from the tank and swim in midair. The entirety of the room was the fish and their ocean. Though it was an unnatural occurrence, the girl treated it as quite normal. Wasn't there originally a deep-sea fish booth that was shut down? She suddenly remembered at that moment her surroundings were dyed a deep red. The water in the tanks, fluorescent lights, all of it was red. The girl's vision also became red. When she opened her eyes, the girl was back into her own room. It was well into the night. She couldn't remember how she had gotten home after all of that. But more importantly, she had a bad feeling about something else. It isn't red here. She became aware of how hard it suddenly was to breathe. No matter how hard she gasped, she was unable to get oxygen into her body. Like the fish who couldn't breathe anywhere but in the water, she couldn't breathe unless she was inside that red color. She was convinced. On impulse, she threw open the window, leaned out, and thrust a hand outside. She couldn't inhale the wind flooding in her room. She could only smell its milky, unpleasant scent. More. At that moment, the girl's body was tossed into the air. For just a second, her body seemed to float like a fish in the sea. Her room was on the 12th floor of her apartment building. In her fading consciousness, the girl watched her blood flow endlessly from her body. It's red. Only then could she breathe. Now everything would be fine. The girl smiled. The full moon in the night sky smiled too. Drip, drip. The sound of falling drops. The moon was concealed behind the clouds, and all of the lights in the town were covered in water. The sound of it, the only thing left to resonate. She couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold, merely that humid air was encircling her. Drip, drip. Wherever they were falling to, wherever they were coming from, the drops just continued to trickle out. That single drop. I stopped it with both hands. The sound of that solitary red drop. Or at least there's an urban legend that goes like that. Talking about Mantan Aquarium again? That's your new thing, isn't it? While stuffing her lunch into her mouth, Tamagawa Himino spoke, her eyes sparkling. I had no idea which point in the story got her so excited. That's right. Isn't this the scariest part? That the girl jumped to her death smiling after coming back from Mantan Aquarium? It's pretty bad. Yet you don't seem the least bit scared, Himino. That's not true. I've got the chills running down my spine. Someone who got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. And, hey, that's my meatball. During a break in the conversation, Himino stole a side dish from my boxed lunch. This minced meat from growing cows and little piglets is the best. Why do you have to put it like that? Jeez, why would you have to make me lose my appetite? I'll give you the rest of it. Alright, I'll take it. Himino takes the rest of the meatballs from my lunch with an amazing rhythm. The reason that I, Nakanobe Mayumi, lost my appetite wasn't because Himino's story scared me. Mantan Aquarium and I are connected in a way that I'd rather not think about. Of course, Himino has no idea about the connection. If she knew, she'd never mention Mantan Aquarium around me again. At the same time, I've been afraid that this thing might cause Himino to stop talking to me. Himino is pretty much my only friend. It isn't that I haven't talked to anyone since entering junior high, just that the only person I could actually call a friend is Himino. Seriously, I think this whole Mantan Aquarium rumor obsession is getting a bit to be much. Maybe. There's so many rumors though. Like there's a man's ghost in the tanks, that the deep sea fish is only open on a full moon, that the water changes into blood, or that you can hear her crying from behind the tanks. That earlier one goes with this one also. No, that's fine. You don't need to say anymore. I say, firmly, causing Himino to make a sour face. Soon after, Himino changes the subject, first to a TV drama that aired the night before, then to some cute fake nails with cats on them she found in a magazine. She then talks about a classmate who was dating a boy from a nearby private school, alighting on one subject before quickly changing to the next. Normally the subject of Mantan Aquarium shouldn't have popped up again. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier. Huh? What exactly are we getting back to? Mantan Aquarium. I looked into it, and this Sunday will be a full moon. Huh? That was all I could say. The rest of my words were unable to come out. So we should go and see if the rumors are true or not. But I know you aren't interested in stuff like urban legends, Mayu, but next week we'll start preparing for the end of the semester, and I won't be able to hang out with you. Lately we haven't gone anywhere together, have we? If the full moon was next Sunday, I'm sure Himino wouldn't have said anything, but I suspect it happens to be this Sunday, and next week happens to be our exams. She's chosen Mantan Aquarium. I know that I'm not hiding my confusion or my hesitation very well. Even so, Himino turns her carefree grin my way. Since it's aquarium, even if the rumors aren't true, we can still have fun, right? Well, that's true. Usually anywhere I go with Himino, I have fun. Whether or not we'd have fun or not was not what I was worried about. By the way, Mayu, in the east building of Mantan Aquarium, they have Häagen-Dazs, as in the eat-in restaurant. They had closed up at one point, but it looks like they're reopening for a limited time. Really? Really? They have the cookies, the cream flavor you like too, Mayu. Cookies and cream, good grief. Of course I hesitate, but in the end, that settles it. Then, we'll go. As long as we definitely get some cookies and cream, saying you have no money because you did too much shopping is out of the question. I know, after all, I'm something of a glutton myself. Fine. In the end, we settle at Mantan Aquarium and ice cream for Sunday. Since I've already received my reward money, moving on to the next grade, I don't need to worry about my allowance. Still, it's been 5 years. Did you say something, Mayu? Nope, nothing. I bite my tongue, covering the words that I had carelessly spilled out. I'm looking forward to the aquarium. It's probably been about 10 years. I'm looking forward to the cookies and cream. It's probably been about 10 years. That's not true. It's the truth. That's the only thing I'll eat there. Himino goes, "You little," as she playfully stretches my cheeks. The end of lunch chimes, and Himino goes back to her own seat. If it's with Himino, I'll be fine. That's what I told myself at the time. My guess, it all goes to shit.